The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's role play session with your host, James McDonald.
Well, thank you very much, Andrea. And I'd like to start, as always, by welcoming our participants to our role play session here. We're going to do some role playing today. Now, what I want to do is I want to take as many of your role plays and role play related questions as time permits, and we'll try to go as quickly as possible. What tends to happen is, we'll find an example where it's pretty typical and helpful for everybody, and maybe we'll spend a little bit of extra time on a role play case like that. But let's see what we can, how many we can get through here, and I will role play with you, and I will give you my very, very best critique and suggestions for areas of improvement. So having said that, Andrea, why don't we do that? Let's see if we have any. Now remember, we obviously primarily we're doing role playing, but if you have any questions related to the universal script, this is the call, and we can talk about that as well.
Yes, sir. If you would like to participate, all you have to do is click the hand icon you see on your audio control panel or type open my mic in the chat box. We already have a couple who have done so far. We have Rena Agardi. Your mic is now open.
Yes.
Rena,
Hello.
go ahead.
Hi.
Hello, who's this?
Hi, it's Rena. It's Rena.
Rena? Hi, Rena.
Hi.
It's James.
Hi, James.
Hi, Rena. I can hear you loud and clear. Isn't that wonderful?
Okay. Good, good.
All right. Okay.
So,
what are we doing today here? What are we doing here today, Rena?
What I'd like for you to do is, to be honest with you, I'd like for you to give me a little bit of a hard time, if that's possible.
Oh, it's my specialty. Are you kidding me?
Because I find once I give the my intro's good. Like, at least I think so. My intro's good, and my offer's good. I ask all the pertinent questions, and then when it comes to the offer, they'll say, well, I'm just looking, or we're not really. They're like you were saying at the very beginning. They're not disclosing their motivation. So that's where it's kind of to the follow-up stage.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Well, in other words, they're not really forthcoming in giving you their timing and motivation.
Well, they are, but they're well, we're just looking, and when it comes time to booking the appointment and getting the information from them to kind of get them to commit, like you have the information that they want. You're making that great offer. You're putting in there's no cost. Leave your wallet at home and your checkbook, and you're giving them all the information, and then they still don't want to meet with a realtor. They want to give you the information over the phone, like I've heard from a couple of the other volunteers. So nobody really wants to, commit to it. Well, I'm not really looking. So it's just a matter of getting past that hurdle, and that's where I kind of get lost a little bit.
Okay. All right, so let's do it. So ring. Hello.
Hi, James there, please.
Yeah, this is James. Who's this?
Hi, James. My name is Rena, and I'm calling from iPro Realty. And the reason why I'm calling is because I received your request for information on properties in the Caledon area, and I've emailed that information to you, and I wanted to make sure that was okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Can I ask, are you folks planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months?
Not really. We're just, we'd just like to look around.
Okay. Right now, where you're living, do you currently rent, or do you own your own home?
No, we own.
You own it. Okay. Now, are you planning on staying in the area that you're living in, or are you thinking about moving out of the area?
We're not. I mean, like I said, we're just looking around and seeing what's out there and kind of dipping our toes in the water.
Right. So if you were to move, like if I know that you're,
if we were to do something, yeah, we would definitely stay in Caledon area. Yeah, okay. Certainly.
Okay. Okay. Now, if you were to move, because I know you've said that you're just looking. Now, if you were to move, do you have any idea when that might be? Like, do you have a timeline? Like, are you thinking by the summer, by the fall, sometime next year? What is your timeline if you have?
Well, I guess I'll tell you what. If we're going to do this, we would definitely do it. Sometime before the fall. Before October, we would, that sort of within sort of 3 to 6 months ish.
Okay. Now, would you prefer to buy before you listed your house, or would you put your house up for sale before you moved?
No, we would look around. We would look around and find something first. And if we find something that we like, and we have seen some properties that are really, really nice. But you know what? The timing just wasn't there. Maybe if it was a little later on and we'd seen some of those properties, maybe we would have bit. But you know what? That's sort of where we're at.
Okay. Now, do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right? When you're ready?
Well, no, when we bought our home, we just called the realtor from the sign. We saw the property, called off the sign, and we feel like we really got a great deal. So honestly, you know what? Why fix what isn't broken? We'll probably just do the same thing. So if you have a great listing, we would absolutely call you and hope that you could help us.
Okay. Would you like me to email you daily updates of homes that match your specific home buying criteria from all the real estate companies? And the list we have includes all bank foreclosures, company-owned properties, distressed sales, properties that haven't even hit the market yet. It's a free service, and of course, you're never obligated to buy a home. Does that sound like something that you would find interesting?
Yeah. You know what? I go online now. I go to MLS.ca and some other sites, and I got some of them notifying me of properties and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that would be, if it's more thorough, if there's even more properties that I'm already getting, then yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay. Well, when can we get together for about 15 or 20 minutes so we can take down exactly what you're looking for? We have a special form that we fill out that takes down very specific information from you. It's, of course, again, a free service, and you're never obligated to buy a home. Do you have some time over the next couple of days that we can sit down with you and take down your information?
Well, I'm pretty busy, and as I said, we're kind of early for that, I think. So, what I can do is, I can email you what we're looking for, or I can just tell you over the phone. It's not really all that specific, I don't think, what we're kind of keeping our eyes out for.
Well, you know what? Rather than emailing you hundreds of houses that might or might not match exactly what you're looking for, or possibly missing out on the perfect one, all we would do is sit down with you for 10 or 15 minutes. It's not a full afternoon. It's not a whole evening. It doesn't take up a lot of your time. And it's actually meant for busy people like you that, rather than you having to flip through pages and pages of houses, we send you the information that you find interesting for yourself, especially with your search, because clearly you've said that you are searching. So all it takes is 10 or 15 minutes. We sit down with you, and we'll take down that info. You pretty well know what your criteria is. So, the more information you have when you come into the office and you're prepared for it, the quicker we can get through the process. So what works best for you? Are your days available, or evenings, or how about the weekend? I can have someone here at the office meet you on Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to say probably sometime in the evening, any day next week. But I'd really like to, I'll probably talk to my wife about it first, and then sort of confirm with you.
Okay, so do you have a date and a time available that I can book you in tentatively, and then I can double check with you maybe later on tonight or tomorrow once you've had a chance to talk to her, once I have you in their schedule, because their schedule pretty well, starts to fill up as the weekends get closer and everybody wants to get in, and I'd love to put you in the schedule, and if it doesn't work out, I can follow up with you tomorrow night and maybe switch today or switch the time.
Okay, well, why don't we do a Monday anytime after 5 p.m.?
Okay, how about 5:30? How's that?
Perfect.
Okay, so we'll see you at 5:30 at our office, and I'll email you the agent that you're going to be meeting and their phone number and the address to the office.
Oh, so we're not meeting with you?
Well, I'll be here. But you will meet one of our agents who specializes in the area that you're looking for.
Oh, I see. Okay, and you're going to confirm the appointment with me?
Yes, I will.
I need to talk to my wife.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
First of all, let's just we'll just kind of hear while this is fresh. You know what? I wouldn't recommend doing that. Okay, just while this is fresh in our minds right now. Okay. You know what? Why do that? They're going to meet. They're coming to your office. They book the appointment. They're comfortable with you. It's not that you're not saying they're meeting with you, but you're certainly not saying you're going to meet with some stranger that you haven't met yet. There's just no benefit in that. All that's going to happen is you're making it more likely that the prospect cancels the appointment. Okay, so when they show up to the appointment, they can ask for you. You're going to meet them and introduce them at that time to the buyer specialist who's going to be helping them.
Okay.
Right, that's no problem. Or they ask for you and maybe you're not there that evening. So instead they ask for you, but you know that if they're asking for you why they're there, so then, whoever comes and meets with them and says, oh, hi, I know that you had spoken and with Rena and, et cetera. Okay, so that's probably a better way to do that. We don't want to give them a reason why they would feel even more uncomfortable about keeping the appointment.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, you can feel it. As soon as you say, you're going to be meeting with, I don't even know who yet, I'll let you know. You can feel it just turns cold. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you know what? That doesn't sound like you've just taken away the whole benefit. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. Okay, now here's the deal with this. Okay, there's some key phrasing that I want you to use, and I got to say this: your whole role play was excellent. The whole thing is really, really good, really good. Okay, but what you need to do is you need to understand that this is to the prospect's benefit, even if they're not buying anything for 6 months or a year. And you know what? If you're running into objections to meet, you need to tell them that. See, here's the problem. If I think, as the prospect, if I think that you think that I'm going to be buying something like now, do you know how apprehensive that makes me to meet with you? Like, I'm kind of sitting here thinking, this woman thinks that I'm going to buy something. Like, I'm not buying something today. I am not going to buy anything for months probably, if at all. So I don't think she gets that. So guess what? I don't want to meet with you because you don't seem to understand that I'm not in a position, I'm not ready to buy something right now. You need to make it clear that you understand that. You need to use language that says, you know what? You might be looking at properties for several months here. There's a better way for you to find the property that you're looking for. If you don't miss out on the perfect property, then you've got a much better shot at finding the one that you're looking for. If I email you all of the properties that perfectly match what you're looking for every day, I don't care if you're receiving these properties for months. That's perfectly fine. It may take that long for you to find the perfect property. It's free. There's no obligation. Okay, but if you use that kind of language and the prospect, this is what the prospect thinks. Hey, you know what? She seems to understand my position. She understands that I'm not going to be buying anything right now. It matters. It makes a huge difference to the comfort level of that prospect meeting with you now. Okay? Now, here's some other language that I want you to test. What you want to say to the prospect when you're booking the appointment is this. It's really important to me, as I'm sure it is to you, that I do a good job for you. It's really important that I do a good job for you. And here's the truth. And this is not in the script. I'm talking to you right now. Okay?
Yep.
Is it true that you would do a better job for them if you met with them versus doing a good job for them without meeting with them? Do you agree that you will always do a better job for a client that you meet with than a client that you've never met with? Do you agree with that?
I agree very much.
So we know that it is in their best interest to meet with us. And the reason is because we can do a better job for them if we have time to sit down with them and meet with them and determine in detail exactly what it is they're looking for, understand their needs, understand their timing, understand their situation. You know, if we can do that, we will do a better job for them. So you know what this means? We need to tell them that. We need to be able to say, look, I know you might be looking for months here, but it's important to me that I do a good job for you. And I'm sure it's important to you that I do a good job for you. And what I find is this: if we can sit down for 15 or 20 minutes, I can do a really good, accurate job of determining what you're looking for, so that if I'm going to be emailing you the very best properties that match what you're looking for on a daily basis, I know that those properties are exactly what you're looking for and that I've done a great job for you, and you're really going to get the most out of this. It's free. There isn't any obligation, and I'm flexible. When would be a good time for you to spend 15 minutes so we can do a really good job for you? Okay. I want you to experiment. Those are the two things that if I was experiencing what you are telling me you're experiencing, those are the two things I would insert. Okay? The first is to make sure you understand their timing, and you're not suggesting to them in any way that you think that they're going to be buying something or doing something, you know, today. If they feel that way, they put on the brakes.
I agree.
And number two, you've got to use that language. It's important that I do a good job for you. No one can object to you saying, I want to do a good job. You know, they want you to do a good job. They want a good, so if we say, look, here's the reason we need to meet. The reason we need to meet is it's important to me that I do a good job for you. And I'm sure it's important to you as well. And even if I'm emailing you these properties for months, I want to make sure that the properties I'm sending you are the best properties that perfectly match what you want. I don't want you missing out on what would have been your dream home because we didn't bother doing a good job. There's no cost. I'm not charging you any money. I'm not going to obligate you to buy anything. But I do want to do a good job, and I know you want me to do a good job. And I'm flexible. You're busy. You tell me when would be a good time for you to spend 50 minutes with me, days, evenings, weekends. Okay. You insert that verbiage into your offer. You're going to book more appointments.
Okay, I appreciate that, because that's where I'm losing people. That's where I'm losing people, because nobody wants. Everybody's, well, no, we're just looking. The motivation is there somewhat. The timing is not there.
Okay,
and
remember, here's something else I want to remind you of as well. You understand that the buyer offer is an offer to help somebody look. The buyer offer doesn't help anybody buy a home. It helps them look for a home. So here's the question. Are you looking for a home? Now, if they have to say yes, because the only reason you're calling them is because they responded to an ad about homes. So by virtue of the fact that you were looking for homes, that's how you found my ad. That's why you responded to my ad, is because it offered homes. I know you're looking for a home already. All I'm saying is this. You're looking for a home right now. I know that because you responded to my ad. I have a better way for you to look for homes, a much more thorough way, a way that ensures you do not miss out on the perfect property, and a way that's easier for you. They're in your inbox, in your email. You don't have to search yourself. They're there. They're all the best deals, including properties that you won't find yourself. It's free. There's no obligation to buy any of them, but it's important to me that if I'm going to do this, I can do a good job for you. All it required to do a good job is 15 minutes at your convenience. Does that sound fair?
Yep.
Okay. You need to make sure that they understand your appointment is not about buying a home. It's about looking for a home. And they all have this in common. The reason they responded to your ad in the first place is because they were all looking for a home. That's how they found your ad in the first place. Okay?
That's right.
They will respond to logic. Okay? Sometimes you just need to point it out to them. Okay, good job.
Thank you very much.
Let me know how those little changes work.
Yes,
Let me know how those little changes work, and I'm sure we'll have some good success stories. Okay, Andrea, let's take another.
Vic McCarrion, your mic is open.
Yeah, hi. Good morning, James. How are you?
Hi, Vic. How are you today?
Fine. I will see you today. I have a fast question, please, I would like to ask. I got a few phone calls from editorial, the 11 critical inspection traps. and I called few of them, and I'm going to do follow-up because I left a message, and I sent them the free report they wanted. So if I call them again and they pick up the phone, how can I start with them, if you can help me?
So now, just because you've already sent them the report, that's what you're saying?
Yeah, I also called them, and they didn't pick up the phone, and I left them a message that I'm sending them the report, because I wanted to be like the first agent calling them. So,
okay, well,
you know what I mean?
I would just call them and use the universal script. I mean, this is why Craig doesn't leave messages. He doesn't recommend you do that. But, I mean, if you were going to, then you're leaving that message independently of the universal script. So you would still call them, and you would still use the same script. I mean, how do you know that that person picked up the message?
That is true. That is true.
What else are you going to say? You probably heard my message. Nope. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're talking about. So when I pick up the phone, I'm the prospect. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you're bothering me. So you better answer that question immediately. And that is what the universal callback script is designed to do. Oh, hi, it's Vic calling, and with such and such realty. The reason I'm calling you is because I received your request for a free special report regarding home seller mistakes, and I just wanted to give you a quick follow-up call here and let you know that I've prepared that information, and you may have received it by now, but it's on its way. I hope that's okay.
Oh, that's great.
Now what do they? Hey, you already left me a message.
Oh.
That's what this is all about. Yeah. Because they might say, hey, you already left me a message, so?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you already. Yeah, I got your message. Yeah, that was me. Are you planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months, by the way? The message is irrelevant to the script. Yes. It would be like saying, well, I already sent them the report, so should I call them? Or does the universal callback script change because I sent them the information versus I didn't? And the answer is that's why it's called a universal callback script. Universal means for the universe. It doesn't change. It's the same. You sent it. You didn't send it. You left a message. You didn't leave a message. The universal callback script is not going to change just because of that. Okay, so all the concept is the same. All right, so does that help?
Yes, sir. Very helpful. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, our next question, our next participant is Bakir Gupalmes. Your mic is now open. Bakir?
Yes. Hello.
Go ahead.
Hey, Bakir.
Yeah,
I can hear you. How you doing?
Very good. You?
Good. What's on your mind today?
I wanted to do a role play with the 27 tips. You are the client. You called and left a message. You asked for the report number 1, which is
okay.
Within the next 3 months.
All right, perfect. So ring. Hello.
Hello. James?
Hi.
No, you're gonna be the client. I'm calling you.
Yeah, I know. Hello.
Okay. Let me ring first. Ring.
Hello.
James there, please.
Yeah, this is James. Who's this?
This is Bakir. The reason I'm calling for you, you requested the report called 27 Tips How to Sell Your Home Fast for Top Dollar. I am preparing the report for you. I just wanted to, you told me not to say double check your address last. Okay, I'm preparing the report. Hello?
Are you a real estate agent?
Yes, I am. I am working with the Max Real Estate Agency.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I left my address on your phone.
Okay. Are you planning on making a move within the next 6 months?
We're thinking about it.
If you were to move, would you be staying in the area or moving out of the area?
No, we'd be staying in the area.
And when do you think that might be?
You know what? I don't know. It's pretty early. We're looking around. It depends on what we can get for our property. So we're thinking about it.
Would you like a free market evaluation to determine what your home would sell for? Also, I can give you tips on what to do and what not to do to sell your home for the most amount of money. And we can go over all various closings costs you will incur, so you will know exactly what you have left in your pocket after all expenses. It's free of charge, and there is no obligation to do anything. Does that sound helpful?
Maybe later.
When is a good time to get together, days or evening?
I don't want to get together right now. Yeah, okay. We're just not ready for that. We're just not ready for that right now. Give us a little bit more time, and maybe you can follow up with. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here, and I just we need to do a little bit more thinking about this first.
As I said, there is no obligation for anything. It will take 15, 20 minutes of your time, and you will know exactly what to do or what not to do with your property to get the most amount of money. As I said, there is no obligation for anything. You're not going to sign anything unless you want to.
Yeah, you know what? Give us a week to think about it. Can you do that?
Yes,
give me a call back in like a week.
Okay.
That would be helpful.
And meanwhile, can I send you some updates of in the market around your neighborhood? What are the properties are selling for? And so is that something interesting for you?
That would be really helpful.
Okay. I have your email here as you left on your message. 123.
Yeah, call me back next week.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. All right. Now, here's what I was trying to do there. Okay. By the way, how many of you are listening to that saying that's real? That's real. That's real. Like that happens. Yes. So how do you deal with that? Do you try to continue to push somebody to do what they clearly aren't ready or don't want to do? And the answer is no. At some point, you need to identify that and say, look, I made the offer, and maybe the offer wasn't articulated as clearly as it could have been. That's your fault. That's what you have to work on, is more clearly articulating the offer so they understand it. But when all that's said and done, if the prospect really is pulling back, at some point you have to be able to say, okay, well, would it be okay if I followed up with you at a later time? And I'd like to send you, what you might find helpful, I'll send you some properties that have sold in your area to give you an idea of home prices and what your home would likely sell for. I'll put that list together and I'll send it to you right away. Would that be helpful? Here's the deal. Get the prospect to say yes to something. Get them to say yes to something. Here's why. If they say yes to something, it creates some reciprocity. So what you're able to do is if they say, yes, that would be helpful. Yes, that would be great. Then you can return and say, well, when would be a good time for me to follow up with you when you might be a little closer to making a decision or to doing something? And you know what? Because of the laws of reciprocity, you're likely to get a more honest answer. And maybe they say, yeah, you know what? Give me a call next week. And, we've got some work to do and we need to, determine for sure what it is we're going to do. But you give me a call this time next week. And now you have their permission. Now, here's why that's so important. When you call them back this time next week and you're calling them back with permission to do so, it's going to make that call a whole lot easier. But there are some things that you need to work on in the meantime. Like, for example, my estimation is that the most important part of this universal script is the introduction. It is most vital to this call because the introduction is what either causes the prospect to see you as a pest or, as Dan Kennedy would say, a welcomed guest. The introduction decides that. And your introduction is very unclear. You didn't even tell me who you were. and that you're a real estate
You know
agent.
what? You catch me. I just sat on the chair and I clicked raise my hand, and I was in all of a sudden. I wasn't prepared. So usually I'm very clear at my presentation in the beginning. I said,
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that because you really do need to be. Remember this. Prospect answers the phone. Who are you? Why are you bothering me? That's the question. Who are you and why are you bothering me? I am this person from this real estate company, and the reason I'm calling you is because you requested information in regards to the costly home seller mistakes from my website. And I wanted to follow up with you and let you know that the information has been prepared and it's on its way. I hope that's okay. You have to be crystal clear because the prospect must say, yes, I did do that. Thank you for calling. Thank you. If you do not get a thank you, you're not going to get an appointment. No thank you, no appointment. If you get a thank you, that doesn't mean you're going to get an appointment, but if you get a thank you, you can get an appointment. If you don't get a thank you, you're never going to get an appointment because it means they're thinking, who are you and why are you bothering me? And how do I get this telemarketer off the phone? People do not book appointments with telemarketers. You know, so that intro is really, really necessary. So definitely something you can work on. But again, if you look on the universal callback script, under follow-up, it says Market Watch newsletter for long-term follow-up. Okay, that means anyone that you don't book an appointment with immediately, that's the offer you want to make. So read that and practice that one a little bit because I'll tell you what, if you follow up with this prospect 1 week from now, you're going to find that phone call is going to be a lot easier. You know, you've already spoken with them, and they've given you permission to call them. You know, so it's going to be a lot easier to book the appointment. And now you can take your time and you can say, look, okay, I understand your situation right now is, you know, you're gathering the facts. You're not making a decision one way or another as to what you're going to do yet. But I got to tell you, you'll be able to make your decision a lot easier if you know accurately what your home is worth. By looking at it, I can tell you what your home will sell for. But more importantly, I can also give you some ideas as to what you can do to make your home worth more money. Inexpensive tips, things to do and not do. We can go over a net sheet so you'll know exactly what you'll have left in your pocket once all the various closing costs are incurred. We can talk about timing. Any questions you have, I'd be more than happy to answer. It's free. There's no obligation for you to do anything whatsoever. I understand you're in the process of gathering information, but I really think this would be very helpful for you. I'm flexible. What would be good for you? Days, evenings, weekends? You book the appointment like that. You'll book these appointments all day long, especially with sellers.
May I ask you another question about the sign calls?
Yes, please do.
Okay. I'm receiving many calls from my signs, and I have a particular listing that the price is like a bit high compared to the market. And after I say the price, people, they say, okay, it's too expensive for me, and they try to hang up. But I switch to the script. Is there a better way to get their information or make an appointment for them to show other?
Before you immediately give them the price, you want to ask them a couple of qualifying questions first. Okay? So if you engage them, then you can disclose the price of the property. So prospect calls, hey, what's the price of this property? Okay, so where are you? 123 Maple Street. All right. Who am I speaking with, please? Name. And are you looking at making a move in the next 3 to 6 months? Are you planning on staying here locally? Okay, this property is $379,900. It's 3 bedrooms. It's electric baseboard heating. It's got a pool in the backyard. Is that what you're looking for? You know, all you need to do is make an offer. Okay, and this is a really great offer, by the way. I suggest instead of driving around trying to find the perfect property, if you like, I can prepare a list for you of all the homes that perfectly match what you're looking for, including and maybe especially the hard-to-find deals, bank foreclosures, company-owned properties, distress sales that match exactly what you're looking for. I'll put together a list, and free of charge. Any of those properties that really catch your interest, I'd be more than happy to set up showings if you'd like to go take a look at them. It's free. There's no obligation. Would that be helpful for you?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what they say? Yes. And they say, great. Well, you know what? I want to do a great job for you. When do you have 15 minutes so we can sit down together and accurately determine your criteria? Don't bring your wallet or checkbook. There's no cost. I just want to be thorough and do a great job before we, send you properties. What do you prefer? Days, evenings, weekends? Are you available, today? It'll take about 15 minutes, as I said. No cost, no obligation, and you book the appointment. But if they call and say, hey, what's the price on 123 Maple Street? And you say, it's $279.9. Then, oh, yeah, no, sorry, thanks, bye. It's very difficult. What you want to do is you want to ask some questions first and engage them in a conversation. Ask their name. Craig likes to ask, are you looking for yourself? Ask them if they're planning on moving in the next 3 to 6 months. Ask them if they're staying in the area. Do they have a real estate agent? Ask them a few qualifying questions first. Then you can give them the price, but then you can also give them a universal offer. Okay? All right, Andrea, who's next?
Our next guest is Philip Doyen. Hold on one moment while I open your line, sir. Philip, you're muted on your end. Go ahead and unmute.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me, guys?
Hi, Philip.
Hi, James. How are you today?
Hello, Philip. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. James, would you like to ask, actually it's going to be a callback concerning an area home sales report that you requested on my 800 line?
All right. Sounds great. Ring, ring. Hello.
Hello. May I speak with James, please?
This is James.
James, this is Philip with Groupe Mackay. I'm calling you to tell you that I received your request for the area home sales report that you requested on my 800 line. I just wanted to let you know that I'm preparing that right now, and it should be sent before the end of the day. Is that all right?
Yeah, great. Thank you.
James, were you thinking of making a move in the next 3 to 6 months?
I was thinking about it.
And if you were...
We're really just looking, though.
Yeah, I understand. But if you were to move, would you be staying local, or would you be moving out of the area?
No, we would be staying in the area.
And if you were to move, James, when do you think that might be?
Maybe I don't know, sometime this year. We'll do it sometime this year. We're just we're dragging our feet a little bit here, waiting for the kids to finish school. But we'll do something this year.
And do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right, James?
No, not really. We know a few, but no one in particular.
And do you think you'll find your next home before you start putting your property for sale, or do you want to sell first?
That's a good question. Well, we are looking around. We want to make sure that there are properties, out there that we'd be interested in before we sell our home. But we're not too worried about that. There are lots of great properties. So I don't know. We would probably put our home up for sale, I would guess.
Would you like me to email you daily updates of properties that might interest you in the meantime? Our list includes bank foreclosures, hard-to-find properties, company-owned properties, and estate sales. Do you think that might be helpful?
Yeah, no, that'd be really good.
Okay. When would be a good time to get together for about 15 or 20 minutes so I could take down exactly what you're looking for? Would you prefer days or evenings?
Probably evenings.
Okay. Would you prefer around 7 or around 8?
7's fine.
Would you prefer tonight or tomorrow?
Just so I know, what's the meeting? What are we going to do at the meeting here?
I'm just going to make up a list of all your home buying criteria, so I don't send you all kinds of properties that may not match your exact buying criteria or risk missing out on the perfect one. Of course, it's free and you're never obligated to buy. Do you think that might be helpful?
Yeah, no, it really would.
Okay. Would you prefer around 7 or around 8?
Yeah, 7 o'clock tomorrow would be good. Tonight's a little hectic, but tomorrow would be fine.
Okay. Will your wife be there?
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. So I'm just going to confirm your address. And remember, it's going to be free, and you're never obligated to anything. And in the meantime, I could also give you tips on what to do and not what to do to prepare your home for sale. So I'll see you tomorrow on 7 at your address.
Okay, so you're going to come to my, okay, so let me make this suggestion, Philip. If you're going to book the appointment at their home, you want to use that as a benefit for the appointment before. Like, don't wait till you've already booked it and then say, oh, and by the way, I can also look at your home. You want to use that in your offer. Okay, so yes. Your offer sounds like this. Philip, would you like me to email you daily updates of all the homes as they come on the market that match what you're looking for? I'll include all the best deals, bank foreclosures, power of sale, company-owned. Any great deals that match what you want, boom, they'll be right in your inbox. And that way, you'll be able to beat out other buyers who are looking for those great properties as well. It's free. There's no obligation. Would that be helpful? Now, I haven't said anything about meeting with me yet, so you can focus on the offer. And you say, yeah, that would be really helpful, just as I said to you. Then you can say this. I want to do an accurate job. So if we can get together for 15, 20 minutes, I can go over exactly what you're looking for. But at the same time, what we can also do is if I can take a look at your property, not only can I give you an idea as to what it'll likely sell for, but more importantly, I can point out some helpful tips that will increase the sales price of your property as well. So we can do it all at the same time. There's no cost. There's no obligation. I'm flexible. What would you prefer, days, evenings, or weekends? And then you book the appointment. Okay? That way, that'll make it a lot easier for you. Okay? Because you're using the seller offer to help you book the appointment.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Okay. Now, did everyone hear the difference? So what Philip did is he booked the buyer appointment first. And then once the appointment is booked, he said, oh, and by the way, I can also take a look at your home and share with you helpful tips. So, but you could have used that as the reason for the appointment in the first place. So that's all I'm saying. That's called the 2-in-1 offer. You're on the right track, but you can do it even better if you combine them. So that's what I'd like to do. And by the way, that happens more than you think. Anytime you get a seller who's staying in the area, you're pretty much making them the combined offer, because they're looking for a home and they have a home to sell. So this is not a rare occurrence. A great number of seller leads that you generate will fall into that category. A seller with a buyer with a home to sell. All right, good stuff. Okay, let's go on to the next volunteer, Andrea.
Yes, sir. Our next guest is Christina Henson. Your mic is open.
Hi.
Hi, Christina. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm good. What would you like to do today?
I want to do a seller, but I have a few questions for you first.
All right. Let's take your questions first.
If I'm trying to engage them and get them on the phone, would you recommend sending emails or continuously calling? And if so, how much and how often?
Okay. If you can't get them on the phone, did you say?
Yeah.
How often do you call? Okay, well, first of all, you always send the information that they requested. So in other words, speaking to them is not a prerequisite for sending them the information that they requested. No matter what, nowhere in the ad did we say, we're only going to send you this information if we speak to you. So we're obligated to send the information regardless of whether we ever talk to them or not. Okay, now, having said that, the number of leads you have to follow up with is going to dictate how often you can attempt to reach any one prospect. Let me exaggerate this so you understand what I mean. If you generated one lead ever, you would be able to call that lead back morning, noon, and night every day for a long, long time. You know why? Because you don't have any other leads to follow up with, so you could really follow up with them a lot. Now, if you generated 100 leads every single day, you would agree that you wouldn't be able to call them back more than once. If you called them back once and you weren't able to reach them, you'd have to go on to the next one. And because there are so many next ones, you wouldn't be able to attempt them again. Okay, so now, where we are, is somewhere in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
We're not generating 100 leads a day, but we're also not generating one lead ever. So what that means is the number of leads we generate is going to dictate how often we can call the prospect back. So let's say that on average you generate 2 or 3 leads a day. The rule that you want to use is this. When you're sitting down to make a call, you will start by calling back the most recent lead first. Okay? So that's just remember that. Who was the most recent person to request information? That's who I'm going to call first. So I call them back, and I move backwards in time. So that means if I have somebody yesterday that I attempted to reach yesterday and I wasn't able to reach them, I want to try them again. So before I pick up the phone and I call that person back to try to reach them, what I have to ask myself is, well, hang on. Is there anybody that requested information more recently than that I haven't called back yet? Because they have to take priority. So let's say that I say, yes, I do. I have 2 leads. I call back the 2 leads first, then I call them back. And so now here's why it works. It works really well if you do it that way, because it means that every lead you generate is going to be called back multiple times, but it's going to be fair. It's going to be even. It's not like, oh, this person only got 1 call and that person got 5. It will be far more even. And, there is no magic number. We've had many occasions where you'll attempt to reach somebody and on the 5th try, they'll actually answer the phone. And you want to so bad say, where have you been?
Right.
But here's the real truth is that if after 3, 4, 5 attempts, you're calling them back, on different numbers at different times, if you haven't reached them, the likeliness is you very likely won't reach them. That's why we want to generate new leads, because, the ones that we actually reach, book appointments with, and do business with, generally speaking, they're the ones that we reach on the first, say, 1, 2, or 3rd attempt. And after that, yeah, you'll get some, but it's more rare.
Now, do you think on the one that you've tried over 5 times to reach and you still can't get on the phone, do you think that's when an email should be sent out to them if you have the email address?
Well, you're sending out an email anyway because you're sending them out the information that they requested. So okay. I'm assuming you already have their email. So you should have sent them out an email a long time ago.
Okay.
Right. As soon as the lead came in, you should have sent them an email. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So we send an email. The email's branded. It's from us. And the email is their information that they requested. We're sending out the email regardless of whether we reach them or not.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Now, any other questions or anything like that? Want to do a role play, anything?
Yeah, can we do a role play on a seller?
Absolutely. All right. Okay. Ring, ring.
Hi. Hi, James?
Yes, it is.
James, this is Christina from the Truman Group. And the reason I'm calling is because I received your request for information that you wanted, and I popped that in the mail to you. Is that okay?
What information was that?
It was expired on how to sell a home that didn't sell.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, are you folks planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months?
We're hoping to.
Okay.
It depends on a few things. But yeah, we're hoping to.
And if you were to move, would you stay in the area or out of area?
We would be staying in the area.
Okay. And do you have an agent to help you when the time is right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we do.
And how committed are you to that agent?
How committed are we? Well, no, they seem pretty helpful. I mean, they've been sending me properties, and he's a nice enough guy.
Okay.
I don't know what else I could tell you.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure what you're receiving from that agent, but we can send out a property of
let me just let's take a brief intermission here. Okay. it's easy to get caught up in that question. Here's the one and only question that you want to ask there in regards to that agent. Okay, before you feel like you have to compete with that agent. Okay, because that's what we're determining. Do I have to really compete with that agent, or can I just go on with the script? Okay, and the truth is you could probably just go on with the script, but the question you want to ask is this: are you 100% committed to working exclusively with that one agent? That's the question. Are you 100% committed to working exclusively with that agent? And you know what I'm going to say to you? No. Okay. No, I'm not 100% committed. And as soon as I say I'm not 100% committed, then you can just go on with the script. It's as if I said, no, I don't have an agent. Just pretend I said that. Nope, I don't have an agent because I'm not 100% committed. I'm open. So what do you got? See, now here's the problem. What I said was that agent is sending me properties. So what you are going to do is you are going to talk about how you could send me properties as well. But you haven't really finished with the script yet. Maybe my motivation wouldn't be in getting properties. It's in the selling of my own home. Okay. So you need to finish with the script instead of competing with that agent when it's completely unnecessary to do so. Okay, so think of it in those terms. All right, so we'll take it from there. Do you have an agent to help you when the time is right? And I say, yeah, we've got an agent right now. He's been sending me some properties and seems like a nice enough guy.
Okay, are you 100% committed to working exclusively with that agent?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, would you prefer to buy or list your home? Or do you want to sell first?
Well, you know what? What we buy is going to be 100% dependent on what our home sells for. So that's kind of where we're at.
Okay. Now, would you like a free market evaluation to determine what your home would sell for? Also, I can give you tips on what to do and what not to do to sell your home for the most amount of money. And then we can also go over the various costs that you will incur so you know exactly what you would be left in your pocket after all expenses. It's free of charge, no obligations, and does that sound helpful to you?
Yeah, no, that's probably what we need.
Okay, when's a good time to get together, days or evenings?
Evenings are better.
Okay, say 6 tomorrow night?
You know what? My wife will kill me if I do that. She probably is going to want a week to just sort of clean up and prepare the house, and she's probably going to make me do a little bit of yard work as well. Can we maybe do it, like next week?
Okay, sure. How about next Monday at 6?
Okay, yeah, that sounds better.
Okay, see you then.
Okay, all right. Now, I threw that in at the very end for a reason. Okay. The purpose of the appointment, now remember this, the longer time goes by from when you book the appointment to when the appointment happens, the more likely it is that bad things happen. For example, prospect cancels. Does that ever happen? Because when it does, it's usually not when you book an appointment for the same night. It's when you book an appointment that's longer down the road, next week, several days out. That's when it's more likely that the prospect cancels the appointment. So we want to avoid that as much as we can, and we want to try to book the appointments as close to now as possible. So I said to you, look, before you come over and take a look at our home, I want to first do a whole bunch of work to the property first before you come over. Now, I want you to just think about the offer that you've just made me and why doing that is illogical based on the offer that you just made. What you want to say to your prospect is, I got to tell you, I would prefer that you not do anything to the property. The purpose of my appointment is to point out the things to do and not do that are going to have the biggest impact on the selling price of your property. So don't put in any work or any effort on anything until I have a chance to come and look at it. Otherwise, what you might do is focus your energy and maybe even expense on things that aren't going to have any impact on the ultimate sales price of your property, when instead you could have done it on other things. So you know what? I'd rather look at your property exactly as it is right now and share with you some of those things. Does that sound understandable to you?
Yes.
Okay. So now, the real reason that we want to suggest that, the real reason is because we want to book the appointment now.
Right.
If we don't book it now, they're going to cancel it, or the other bad thing that can happen is we're going to get a call from another agent saying, hey, listen, don't worry about your appointment next Monday. I listed it. And that is, well, angering to say the least. But it happens. It absolutely happens. See, sometimes we can't be naive in thinking that because a prospect responded to our ad doesn't mean they respond to another. Now, here's something else I know about this prospect. This prospect has another agent that's sending them properties that they like, you know. So what if between now and Monday they have a conversation with that other agent for whatever reason, and that other agent says, well, geez, I could come over and I'll give you the same thing right now. And that is not unlikely that could happen. So all of these things are realities, and what they all point to is this. If we have somebody on the phone and they've indicated motivation, we need to give them a logical reason to meet with us sooner rather than later. So that's just some food for thought, some things that you can work on. But that was a really good job. You know what? I can tell that with you, the more you do it, the better you're going to get. And you're already very, very good at it. But I don't think you're at the point yet where you've completely memorized and internalized the script, but you're very, very close to that point now.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, so keep at it, and thank you so much for volunteering. Okay, Andrea?
Yes?
What I would like to do is I would like to take one more for today. And for those of you in Southern California that are going to be coming this morning, I know there are a few of you that said you were coming here, so you can say hi. But let's take one more before we wrap up the role play for today.
Yes, sir. Our final participant is Jana Classy. Your phone line is open.
Hi. Hello?
Hello, Jana. How are you today?
Good, good. Okay, I sent out a postcard, home evaluation postcard, so it would be somebody responding to that.
All right, so,
information.
All right. Ring, ring. Hello.
Hi, is James McDonald there, please?
This is James.
Hi, James. This is Jana Classy. I'm with Snyder Bailey, and the reason I'm calling is I received your request for a home evaluation, and we're putting that together, and you should receive that shortly if that's all right.
Yeah. Yours was the postcard that I got the other day. Yeah. Thank you.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Are you planning on making a move in the next few months?
That's the plan.
Okay, great. Are you going to be staying in this area, or are you wanting to move out of the area?
We are going to move about 40 minutes away. We're looking at new construction out there, and well, that's where we're going.
When do you think that might be?
I'm thinking that it's going to be ready by sort of the fall, so, October, maybe September, but I would say it's more likely October.
Oh, so you've already bought a house, basically, a new house, right?
Yes, we have. We're waiting for it to be built.
Okay. Do you have a realtor to help you sell your house when the time is right?
Well, you know what? I know an agent at my gym who's he talks everybody's ear off, and he'd probably kill me if I didn't use him. I won't.
Well, are you 100%
committed? I really am not. I'm not 1% committed, but I am feeling some peer pressure. It feels like I'm in high school again. I feel the peer pressure. So it's kind of an awkward situation. So I'm not sure how to deal with that. Other than when I move, I'll be quitting the gym, so it won't matter.
Well, that'll work. That'll work. Now, I'm sorry. Tell me again, when did you say your home is going to be ready? That you're purchasing?
Hopefully September, but it's more likely going to be October.
October. So that's like 6 months away from now. So probably, what do you think? Do you think you'll be putting your house on the market 3 months from the time it's built?
I guess the question that we had was, if we want to, we could put it on the market the day before if we sold it at a super low price. Obviously, that's not what we want to do. So, my thought was the sooner we put it up for sale, the more time we have to sell it, the more money we would get for it because, at least we could start off at a maybe somewhat unrealistic higher price, but I've got time so we can lower the price as opposed to, sort of at the last minute, a fire sale. I definitely do not want to do that. So I don't know. That's kind of the dilemma that I'm considering right now. I also don't want to get stuck, homeless, selling this place, and then, if a really great offer comes and, we're stuck with nowhere to live. I don't know. I have all of these concerns, and we haven't done this before, so I don't know what to do.
Well, the average time to sell around here is about 3 months. So, and you don't want your house sitting on the market for a long time because people will start wondering what's wrong with it. So I would say about 3 months before your home is ready, then let's talk about putting it on the market.
Okay. So that would be June.
Yeah. So then let's see. What
if it takes 3 months, if it takes 3 months to sell, does that mean on average? So it takes 3 months to sell. Does that mean like somebody has the keys in their hand?
Well,
in 3 months,
I've got some ideas.
Average?
I've got some ideas of how to handle that in the listing. You can put some contingencies in there. You know what I could do? I could, if you've got some time, I could sit down and I've got some ideas for you and talk about this. I could also give you a reevaluation of your home and let you know some things to do that would, increase the value of it. Also, let you know what the bottom line would be. So it sounds like that might be a good idea. Do you have some time for me to come over to your home?
Sure.
Okay. I have some time this evening or tomorrow evening. Which would be better for you?
Tomorrow evening would be better.
Okay. How's 7 o'clock?
Can you do it a little earlier?
Sure. 6 o'clock?
Sure. Okay, 6 is
Okay.
good.
See you then. Okay.
All right. So do I need to have anything or do anything or?
No, I don't just leave your house the way it is. I can give you some ideas of what to do to get, the most amount of money for it. Also, is your wife going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay, great. We can talk about all this then.
Okay. All right. So here's first of all the thing. So what I'm trying to do is now granted, this is probably a high I, high D type of prospect where, once you engage them in conversation, this is the thing is the more difficult part is engaging in conversation. But once conversation is engaged, they will talk a lot and they'll disclose an awful lot of information. And once the cat's out of the bag, it's even easier to disclose even more information. Now, not every prospect is like that, and that's not a type of prospect. That's a personality type. So you get the high I, it's some D, they're not afraid and they like to talk. They will disclose all of this information to you. So you did a really good job of engaging me in that back and forth dialogue, but listening to everything that I was willing to disclose to you. So here's what it boils down to, though. A lot of this stuff that you're talking about with timing, because really that's the direction I was trying to go in, was I'm not sure about timing. But if you think of the offer that we're making the seller in the seller offer, we talk about timing and when would be the best time to do something. So all of this, all of the answers are addressed in the seller offer. So all you need to do is get to that offer a little bit sooner. Okay, so your concerns are with timing and when you want to do this. You're thinking October, September. You know, if I can take a look at your home, a few things we can do here. And this is what, you know, instead of saying I have some ideas, that's what the offer is for, so that you don't have to say I have ideas. It tells them exactly what the ideas are. Here are the ideas. You know what? These are my ideas. If I can come and take a look at your home, a few things can happen. One, I can be much more accurate in determining the likely sales price of your property. Two, and more importantly, I can point out anything you can do that will make your home worth more money. Any inexpensive tips, any fix-ups, anything not to do. We can go over a net sheet so you'll know the bottom line, you know, all the closing costs that you're going to incur and what you're going to have left in your pocket. We can talk about timing and when is the right time to get your home on the market, not too soon, but not too late. I can tell that's something important to you. The whole thing is free. There's no obligation whatsoever, and I'm flexible. What's good for you? You know, today or tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And so if you look at the offer, the seller offer essentially says what you said, but it just encapsulates all of it together. Mm-hmm. And what was interesting is just in our conversation, you naturally did all of those things. You just did it a little differently. What Craig came to understand is if you can put them all together and frame it around an appointment, when you frame it like that and say, look, if we can get together, we can do all of these things, the prospect says yes. The prospect says yes, and they book the appointment. Whereas if you fragment it and you do it piece at a time, well, you know, this is, you know, we can talk about timing in three months, and then you go on to the next thing. When you book the appointment becomes more difficult to book because you've fragmented all of the benefits. What we want to do is we want to keep all of those benefits together, framed around an appointment. And if you do that, booking the appointment is really – now, by the way, I believe you would have gotten that appointment just based on that role play and that situation. You'd have booked that appointment. And, you know, here's the thing. I think that's a good appointment for me to sign the listing. Mm-hmm. It's never a waste because one of two things can happen. Either number one, you know, you're going to definitely establish yourself as my agent. So maybe in 3 weeks I list with you, or better yet, I sign a post-dated listing with you.
That's what I was
asking,
you
know,
about, a post-dated.
I don't know if that's something you've done before, but
I have
you just sign a post-dated listing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is that a hard?
And I would say that's probably no, because you suggest it. See, if you've tried to get them to sign a listing and they're balking at signing the listing right now because they feel like it's too early, then it's very difficult to do that. But if you sit down with them and you recognize this is too early and you recognize it, then you want to be the one that says, you know what, this is what we really do. It's early right now to get your home on the market, and I don't want it sitting. We should get your home on the market on June the 1st. Between now and June the 1st, there is some work that we could do on the property, some inexpensive things that we could do that would really present the property in a way that would very likely get you some more money for it. But why don't we do this? Instead of putting it on the market now, which I believe is too soon, why don't we post-date a listing so that on June 1st, first thing on June 1st when the agents look at the new listings, boom, your property's already loaded up and ready to go and in the MLS. Now, what we'll do is the day before, we'll sit down and we'll take a look at home prices, and if we need to adjust the price, if anything has changed dramatically in the marketplace, we can adjust the price before that. Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea.
But all I'm saying is this. When you suggest it, it's a huge benefit, and it's a great idea. When you're suggesting it because you've already been, rejected, it doesn't have the same effect at all. It's kind of like you're backpedaling. So, and this is the mistake that a lot of agents would make, is they would try to get the listing even though it's way too early. They try to get the listing, the seller box. They don't want to sign it because this is too early. Then you, as a fallback, you say, well, maybe we can do a post-dated listing. And all it looks like you're doing is you're backpedaling. Instead, what you want to do is recognize it's too early, and you be the one that suggests, boom, let's not do this now. Let's post-date this so that we can get it all ready. Let's do this properly. When you're the one suggesting it, now this is why. Remember, Craig says this. The purpose of the appointment is to position yourself as the expert. That's the difference between a salesperson and an expert. An expert would be okay to make a suggestion like, I don't want to make a mistake and put this on the market too early. Let's do this right, and let's put this on the market at the perfect time, which I believe to be June the 1st. Why don't we do it this way? That's what an expert would suggest. What a salesperson would do is a salesperson would say, I want the listing now. I don't care that I'm a salesperson. I want to sell. I want the listing. I don't care that it's too early. I don't care that it's not right for you. I don't care that it doesn't make sense. Sign the listing, sign the listing. That's a salesperson versus an expert. People want to do business with experts, not salespeople.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a really good role play, and I'm glad that came up today because I think that's really helpful.
Yeah, thanks. It was very helpful.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? Thanks, everybody, very much for volunteering. Andrea, thanks so much for your help. Tomorrow is our ad clinic session, as always. So until then, much success to everybody, and we'll look forward to speaking with all of you tomorrow. Thanks so much for your help, Andrea.
Thank you, James. Everyone, have a wonderful afternoon, and speak to you all tomorrow on the ad clinic session.